I believe it's important to address one thing that I did not show in this video, which was before I began my interview, I would really try to introduce what recreation therapy is to the client. Recreation therapy is a very, very new therapy. Therefore, not a lot of people know what it is. This can be used in different scenarios, whether that's giving an example or just strictly giving that elevator speech that all recreation therapists have. It is super important to address what you're doing, why you're there, and how you're going to help them in their stay. Basically today, all we're going to do is just kind of get an assessment of where you are on like your leisure assessment and where you are in regards to your leisure in the process of a interview and leisure screen. We are able to assess with an informal assessment how a client may react and take part in leisure in their everyday life. So rather than having specific questions that I ask, I use a leisure screen, which gives me ideas as of what to ask, but don't really use it until the end. As you can see here, it's a very informal discussion discussing different areas of their life that they feel that they thrive in and where they feel the most comfortable, as well as to get a grip of where they sit in support in the community. So whether this be throughout their environment, in their home environment, or in their assisted living environment, wherever they may be coming from, who they have for supports, how they get around, what they enjoy doing. This kind of information is discussed throughout the leisure screen. As you can see here, I'm writing down different information that I might hear just so I can take note, make a check mark where things may be of interest that I can be aware of which programs might fit best for her. Using an assessment called the PERMA, we are able to address different skill levels. The PERMA is a profiler that is used, and it's defined by 5 pillars of well-being, which is positive emotion, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment, hence the name PERMA. These 5 pillars also include negative emotion and health. The PERMA is used to help increase well-being by focusing on combinations of feeling good, establishing support and friendly relationships, living a meaningful life, accomplishing goals, and being fully engaged with what you are particularly doing, which is also known as flow in recreation therapy. Okay, Emily, so now that we've gone through your leisure screen and everything, we're just going to go through a PERMA profiler. So this is what we use at Parker Center to kind of get a hold of where you guys are sitting in regards to your leisure and how you involve yourself in your community, as well as how you're feeling both mentally, physically, all that kind of stuff. I can't fill anything out on this for you unless you absolutely need it, but I can't give you hints either. So however you're feeling, it's completely valid to circle whichever number you would like. There's a sliding scale from 0 to 10 on here, 0 being never, 10 being always. So I'll let you choose. I'm gonna read these questions out for you. I'll give you the pen to fill in the circles here, and we'll get started.
Sounds good.
So, our first question here is, how much of the time do you feel you are making progress towards accomplishing your goals? So 0 being never, 10 being always. Due to the legalities of the PERMA assessment, I did not record all the questions, but there's a number of questions that are used, and these help to determine where the client sits on the scale of the PERMA assessment.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
Following the PERMA assessment, there is some quick math that gets done in regards to the different scores. So The first being your positive emotion score, the second being your engagement, third being relationships, fourth being meaning, and fifth being accomplishment, as well as your happiness and overall well-being are also scored. Okay, Emily, I'm just going to go through your scores that you scored on our PERMA assessment there. So your positive emotion, you scored an 8, which is pretty high. This is out of 10, so that's a high score. Along with that, your engagement, you also scored an 8.3, so again, high. Relationships, which I wasn't too concerned about to begin with, is a 9.3, which is ideal. Meaning is 9 as well, and then our accomplishment is a little lower, it's a 7.3, so that'll definitely be one that we focus on. Our negative emotion, we want to be on the lower end of our scale, so it's good that it's a 4.3. We'd rather have that than a 10. Along with that, the same with our loneliness, we want that to be low, so that's a 2. Our health is an 8.6, which is a good score, along with our happiness is an 8. So going through that, we're going to look at our goals. So we want to increase or decrease something by 10%. So we want to increase your accomplishment score by 10% upon your discharge. So we're going to go through and plan these goals together, and then I'm going to work to find some different activities that I can put you in different interventions. Following the results of the PERMA, goals and objectives are addressed with the client in regards to their discharge from rehab. So every goal that we try to make is either to increase or decrease something by 10%, whether that's their loneliness score decreasing or their engagement increasing. We focus on those and speak about the different programs and interventions that they can take part in to try to achieve their goals. So Emily, we're just going to put on here for our first goal to increase or decrease. We're going to circle increase because that's what we had spoken about. We're going to increase your accomplishment score by 10% upon discharge. So this is where we're going to include your objective or plan. So this is the activities that we're going to participate in. So for accomplishment, I'm going to encourage you to take part in our resiliency skills training. Resiliency skills is an intervention that takes place once a week. It involves a lot of coping mechanisms, different ways to stimulate your brain into positive behavior and positive emotion, as well as helps to focus on accomplishments. So engaging in what the resident has taken part in. In the current videos, you can see an example of our resiliency skills that I was able to run. This had to do with leisure and emotions, so they talked about different leisure activities that they like to enjoy, and then the emotions that they may feel during these activities. Second goal, we are going to increase our positive emotion. So we're going to do that, positive emotion. We're going to do that by taking part in our creative expressions group. Creative Expressions is an art-based therapy program or intervention that takes place also once a week. This allows for residents to be able to express their emotions and their feelings through a different way aside from their words. So in this case, it was watercolor art and art therapy. So they were able to create bookmarks in regards to how they were feeling, whatever they wanted to paint. There was no pressures or expectations as to what they were going to create. And then finally, we're going to increase our engagement scores. So engagement, and that's going to put you in our Explore program. The Explore program is a 12-week cycle program that involves a new activity, intervention, hobby, or sport each week. Each of these do not have any pressure for anyone to be good at them, even the instructors, as you can see in the dance video. So that being said, it allows to break barriers that residents may be facing in regards to their engagement, whether that's a barrier financially, a barrier transportation-wise, all of that. This includes also leisure resources within the community that can be handed through a pamphlet that's given through the program. Throughout the current video, you can see our clients taking part in a seated line dance, which was part of the Explore program as well. This involved motor function and different cognitive thoughts. This next shot is through our adaptive bowling. Through the use of this PERMA assessment, we are able to get a realistic goal of where our clients sit currently and what their goals are for the rest of our program in the geriatric rehab unit. Along with this, we also get to make a relationship with the client, establish those things that are meaningful to them, as well as what they do enjoy participating in.